Hi there, I'm Cheyenne.
And I'm Juan.
And
we are Down with the Dominguezes.
Oh my gosh.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cheyenne Dominguez, and I'm here with my husband, Juan.
Hello, my dear.
Hi. Okay, folks, we are on week number 4 of quarantining our family at home. And so we wanted to just take a moment to begin this podcast by thanking more of those individuals who are on the front lines right now, keeping our communities moving. And today we really wanted to recognize all of our sanitation workers because Juan and I recognize that the trash and the recycling got to keep moving, and it's amazing how our communities are making that happen.
No doubt. Can you imagine how things would be if the trash stopped getting picked up? So,
that would be pretty ugly.
I probably someone that I haven't noticed and have passed 100 times since we moved into the neighborhood is the sanitation workers, or are the sanitation workers that come every week to pick up the trash and recycling. And I made eye contact with one of them the other day, and I kind of stopped my run and gave them a salute like they were the highest ranking military officer in America. And frankly, they deserve it.
I'm sure they appreciated that.
He had a big smile on his face, and he saluted back. So that was pretty cool.
Nice. Well, thank you, everyone. If you're working on the front lines in any way or part of an essential type of business that you're keeping operating during coronavirus, this global pandemic, thank you very much for all you're doing. So we're about to begin week number 5 of our own family's quarantine at home. And so we've been kind of learning over the past few weeks what helps to make a successful day and what produces a day of meltdowns. And so one of the things we wanted to share with you that we have really been enjoying is this idea of family movie night, but with a little bit of a twist. So each night at dinner, each of us go around the table and we all provide a suggestion or a recommended movie, because otherwise what happens is if the same person in the family gets to pick the movie every night, well, then it's no fun for everyone else. So our plan, so that everyone feels heard and their suggestions are considered, we go around the table and everyone recommends the movie that the family should watch together. But
you can't vote for your own movie.
You can't vote for your own movie. And there's the twist.
And no one ever votes for my movie, basically. So that's the other twist.
No, and well, you have interesting suggestions that I'm not sure the kids really get very excited about. So,
well, after saying Glengarry Glen Ross for 2 weeks, they took pity on me and picked Glengarry Glen Ross. But what happened?
That was really bad. So for like 12 nights in a row, Juan suggested this same movie that is really not of their generations, and they didn't know what he was talking about, but so that their father would stop suggesting Glengarry Glen Ross, they finally voted for it. And so we began watching it one night, and about 4 minutes into the movie, I had to shut it down because there were about like 200 curse words in the first few minutes, and I had to veto it.
It was 1982. I forgot. I knew it was a great movie, but maybe less curses after the first 7 minutes. But anyway, yeah.
Not fun movie for adults. Not recommending this for children. Okay, just want to make sure that we've put that disclaimer out there. So one of the movies that we had so much fun watching, several nights in a row, one of my recommendations was to watch a National Lampoon's Vacation movie with, National Lampoon's Christmas with Chevy Chase. And I can remember as a kid watching that movie.
Great movie.
And it was so funny. But we got to a point in the movie that reminded me of a total real life situation. So for anyone who is of our generation, right? If you watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, you may remember there's a scene where Clark Griswold goes to the department store to try to buy a Christmas gift for his wife. And he becomes quite enamored with the beautiful young perfume girl at the counter. And as we were watching the movie, I had flashbacks to when my husband, our Juan Dominguez here sitting next to me, he went to meet Miss Pamela Anderson as she launched her perfume line, supposedly to get a gift for me. Now, in the movie, Clark Griswold loses his ability basically to be able to speak in complete sentences with this beautiful department store perfume lady. And that's kind of what happened to my husband when he met Pam Anderson.
So I basically turned into Clark W. Griswold. A friend of mine gave me a call one Saturday early afternoon, and it was one of those Saturdays kind of in between sports seasons, nothing going on. And he's like, "Hey, Pamela Anderson's going to be at the Rite Aid." I'm like, "For what?" And he's like, "Well, she's got a new launching a perfume line." I'm like, "What better reason do we need?" And it wasn't my idea. So when I went to you and said, "Hey, I'm going to the Rite Aid to go see Pamela Anderson," I couldn't possibly get in trouble. So we went. And of course, he didn't read the fine print, and you could enter the Rite Aid, but you could not get anywhere near Pamela Anderson because they had it cordoned off without buying the perfume.
Sure.
So my friend Rich was like, "Wow, I don't know if we're going to buy it up." I'm like, "Of course we're going to buy it. We're here, right?" So we went and we.
I'm sure you were thinking of me, and you'd buy me this lovely perfume.
Of course, honey. Right. It was near Valentine's Day, so without a doubt. So we each bought a overpriced bottle of perfume, and we got behind the cordon, and we got our perfume boxes signed. So Rich was great. He went in there. You know, he's unflappable. I was a little.
You're flappable?
I'm flappable. I gotta tell you what. I got within a couple of feet of her, and with the perfume and the lighting, and you know, she was just. And I'm rarely starstruck, but I was starstruck. And she was like, "Hi, how would you like me to sign your bottle of your box of perfume?" And I was like, "Oh," to my wife Cheyenne. She's like, "How do you spell that?" Of course, Cheyenne's name is spelled Cheyenne, and I was like,
"You forgot how to spell my name all of a sudden."
Shayane. And she's like, "Are you sure?" I go, "Yeah, it's close enough." And
so my husband came home from his meeting with Pamela Anderson and a lovely box of her perfume, which he gifted to me, but on the box it said to Shayna or something.
To Shania Twain, or not Cheyenne.
Yeah. The spelling of my name, I mean, wasn't even close. And
starstruck, honey. Starstruck. You know, we got to take pictures with her, and when Rich was, you know, we were posing, and right before he snapped the picture, I said, "Oh, wait, I got to get my good side," and we flipped positions, and she was laughing, and I was like, "Oh, she's definitely fallen in love." But and you know, I don't think I ever told you that the next day she was in another Rite Aid in another town.
And you stalked her?
You know, for those of you that remember the movie Borat, I was looking around for a burlap sack, and if I had found it, might have gone for round two. But anyway, yeah, great times.
Oh my gosh, how funny. So that was family movie night, and when that scene came on, that brought me back to your time, your encounter with the beautiful Pam Anderson.
I know how Clark W. Griswold felt, for sure.
All right, so that's our spin on family movie night. Give everybody a chance to make their own suggestion, and then the family votes, but you can't vote for your own suggestion. That way everybody gets heard, and hopefully everyone has fun watching movies like National Lampoon's.
Yep, and for any men or dads out there living in a household of more than one person, they will never watch your movie. So, all right, that was my one and only. I've had 4 minutes of my movie.
All right, the other thing is, okay, so we've been having fun. You've been having a little bit of fun with work by having these Friday afternoon virtual mocktail parties.
Well, just to be clear, in case my boss is listening, it's not every week, but we did have.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's not every night.
It's not every night. It's not every day. But yeah, we decided to have. We have an end of day call, and we wanted to have some fun. So we had a mocktail party. Everyone. Well, I know I brought a mocktail as the boss. I definitely had a non-alcoholic beer, Athletic Brewing, awesome. And anyway. It was so much fun. We had people wearing funny T-shirts, and there was one of our team members, a woman who was out getting Chipotle, And, I wish she hadn't had the video on at the time, but she finally parked after getting the Chipotle, I think, in her driveway, and she was eating up the Chipotle, before she got inside, because I guess
didn't want to share it with anyone.
It was so good. She didn't want to share it. She was telling us, yeah. And someone said, "Hey, did you get cheese with those chips?" She's like, "They're so good. I don't need any cheese." I mean, and we were going around telling funny stories. And finally, someone said, "Hey, there's a leader on our team. He'll go by El Lobo, and El Lobo plays guitar, and we thought that he didn't make the mocktail party on our Microsoft Teams site, but after his name came up, he was like, 'Oh, I'm here,' and he pulled up one of the guitars that we always see in the frame of his videos, and he was playing some blues licks at like nobody's business. And I made a mental note that when this is over, we're having dinner with El Lobo and his wife, and
he's bringing the guitar,
having a bottle of wine, and he's bringing the guitar, and
I like that.
Hopefully I'll join him with some songs by the end of the night if all goes well.
Oh, that's great. So that's a lot of fun.
We had a blast.
Kind of break the stress of the day and the weeks, I guess.
It was a great way to end the week and get us into the weekend. So that was pretty cool.
Very nice. All right. So
I hear you're having some surgery.
No, very funny. No, folks, I'm not having surgery, but my youngest kind of suggested a surgery. So if you've listened to our first few episodes, you'll know that one of the things that our family continues to try to prioritize during this quarantine time, especially, is getting all of our physical activity in, right? Trying to stay moving every day. And I'm taking daily walks. I have a virtual walking club. And so I'm counting my steps every day in addition to trying to take a walk and just trying to make sure I keep the step count high. The kids are keeping their step counts high also. But so I was talking with my youngest the other day and said, my steps were a little low and I had to, kind of kick it up a notch that day. And he had an interesting solution.
Yeah, tell us, please.
Mom, I think I have an idea. I could do a surgery on your butt. That's what he said. I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "All I need to do, Mom, just give me something. I can just poke a hole in each cheek and all that jelly will come out of there." That's what my child said to me. And he has repeated it a couple of times. He's very convinced that that's all it will take to keep my butt slim.
I think
or to make it slimmer, just poke 2 holes and all the jelly comes out.
He's been reading up and watching shows, and I'm sure he's interested in the medical field. So the good news here is if you take him up on it, sounds a lot cheaper than plastic surgery. Not that you need it, honey.
Thank you.
Not that you need it.
No surgeries happening. No surgeries happening, but I appreciate his concern. I'll take it from that perspective. All right. So you learned a little valuable lesson in, I don't know, would you call it, in patience, or would you call it during this quarantine time when you went shopping recently?
Well, impatience is my middle name, for sure. I'm a Dominguez man, and the Dominguez men are impatient. The Dominguez women infinitely more patient. Hello, Mom. Haven't mentioned you in a podcast yet, so I know you're counting. Now it's Dad 2, you 1. But
all right.
Maybe next week we'll get you back in there. But we wanted to get to the giant grocery store early this morning. Wanted to buy a lot of stuff so that we wouldn't have to go back in the next week or two. And so
restocking.
Mm-hmm. And so I get to the line and I start putting my groceries on the conveyor belt. And there's this woman there who, again, I'm viewing people through different eyes, essential personnel, nice as can be, but she is into getting, everyone's got these big carts of stuff, and she's methodically.
She's scanning and bagging.
And
putting it in the cart.
Well, no, she's scanning, bagging, and putting it at the end, and I start putting the bags into the cart. And she's like, no, that doesn't go there. And she's like, that pizza goes up against the end of the thing, standing up, not bagged. I'm like, okay. And then I grab another thing and I go, those eggs don't go there. We hold.
She stopped you again?
She stopped me again. She held we hold the eggs to the end. I went to grab a third thing and she stopped me again. And, usually in patience, I'm like, hey, ma'am,
I know how to
respectfully.
put my bags into a cart.
Respectfully. However, the light switch clicked, and I was like, this lady's an expert.
She is like the bagging guru.
Another level. It was like the Picasso of bagging. It was like taking it to an art form, and she was so intense and serious. I was like, I could learn something from her.
Mm-hmm.
And she starts telling me, well, this goes there and this goes there, and tag that, tie that to the end of the to the end of the cart, and do this with the eggs and the bread. And about 3/4 of the way in, I see that we're starting to develop a rhythm. Right, we're like a little team. We're coming together. And finally, I grabbed 2 bags, and I was like, this goes here and that goes there, right? And she's like, now you're figuring it out.
Look at that.
So
you learned some new skills today. And I'm sure you made her very happy. She probably felt like you left and she was successful.
I told her it was an incredible experience, seriously. And, I thought to myself, that was truly taking your job and to the next level. And I love that.
I love it.
About her and about people.
I love it.
So it was great.
She's clearly passionate about what she's doing and doing it the right way.
Without a doubt.
I love it. I love it. All right. So what kind of tips would you like to share with our listeners for how you're getting through quarantine time with your family, whether it's homeschooling tips or activity tips or trying to keep busy, or maybe you want to share with us some tips on how you're navigating your virtual network at this time and how you're handling meetings, whether or not you're having mocktail parties or doing something different. We'd love to hear from you. And we do want to thank our almost 300 listeners.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you so much. We're having a lot of fun with this podcast. If you would like to suggest any topics that you'd love to hear Juan and I chat about, feel free to share those with us. You can reach either of us on social media, or you can also leave us a voicemail message here on our podcast. All right.
Sounds great, honey.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
If you've enjoyed Down with the Dominguezes, it would mean so much to us if you'd leave a review and share it with a friend. Thanks, everyone.